Pest flies on poultry facilities can be a nuisance to producers and their neighbors, and some can also transmit pathogens that may cause human and animal diseases. So what is the best method to control flies? Hi, I'm Erica Machtinger, veterinary entomologist at Penn State. You can use Integrated Pest Management, or IPM, to control pests in an effective and environmentally safe way. Using IPM involves a combination of common sense practices to break the pest life cycle. But you don't want to put extra time and money into controlling pests if they aren't a problem. How do you determine if your pest fly population is a problem? By setting action thresholds. An action threshold is the level of a pest fly population set prior to monitoring, where if exceeded, you would initiate additional control methods. For example, this graph shows the average fly count determined by monitoring populations on the vertical axis and the date on the horizontal axis. The line representing the action threshold is set at 100, which is a standard for some monitoring methods like sticky cards or spot cards. As you can see, the fly count rises until it exceeds the action threshold. At this point, you should implement additional fly control that goes beyond the methods you currently have in place to bring the population below the action threshold line. To comply with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration regulations, each farm needs to document action thresholds for the method of monitoring used. You can see an example of that here. Having 0 flies is not a realistic goal. You can use the records of your monitoring methods, like this data sheet for spot card counts, to compare your current fly population against the population action threshold level that you set as acceptable. Action thresholds should be set to a reasonable number so that control methods are implemented before fly populations get so high they are a challenge to control, as seen here. This can help reduce the need for urgent use of chemical insecticides to reduce population numbers. The FDA's Egg Safety Rule lists action thresholds for various methods of monitoring, but these only serve as recommendations. You should set and record your own action threshold to measure against. Initially, you may set action thresholds too low. This may result in over-application of control methods, like chemical insecticides, when fly risk is fairly low. Setting action thresholds too high could lead to implementing control methods too late to catch up with an already accelerating fly population. You may modify your action thresholds as the conditions of your facility change, or as you gather more information about the fly population at your facility. The important thing is that you log these changes and the rationale in your records to comply with the FDA requirements. Remember, you should set initial action thresholds prior to implementing a monitoring program so that you have a solid goal for fly population management. Action thresholds can help you evaluate the success of your current control methods and gauge the most appropriate time to add additional control to your farm, saving you time and money and keeping your birds healthy.